The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic.
Marko Mijuskovic is registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004, and at Wealth Strategy Partners, 677 Ala Moana Boulevard, Suite 720, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations.
And now your host, Marko Mijuskovic.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, senior partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also certified exit planner. You are listening to Hawaii Money Resource exclusively Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So when you are in traffic, make sure you tune in 7:60 a.m. or if you're in front of your computer, you can stream live from HawaiiMoneyResource.com. So when you're on a homepage, click Listen Live. Hawaii Money Resource been around since 2011, and we try to pick the brain of all of our guests for 1 hour and try to live through their experience so you out there can learn something new that you can implement in your business and hopefully get that business to the next level. When we do not have a guest in our studio, what we talk about is business planning and business exit planning. Make sure that you check our website, businessexitplanninghawaii.com, businessexitplanninghawaii.com. We have a huge event. The largest event for this year is coming up. More information is available online at businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Make sure you go online, register for this event. Seating is limited. If you have any questions, 695-2102, 695-2102. Today we have a special guest in our studio, John Olkowski. John is a doctor, and he is with us today to share his story. Dr. John, can I call you Dr. John?
You can call me Dr. John.
Welcome to Hawaii Money Resource.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. John, 30 seconds. Just give me a little bit about your business.
I am a practicing ophthalmologist, which is an eye surgeon, and I specialize in corneal transplants, LASIK, laser vision correction, and cataracts, and have been in practice for 17 years now in my private practice, Eyesight Hawaii.
EyesightHawaii.com is the website if you would like to learn a little bit more about Dr. John Olkowski. Location is Dole Cannery, second floor.
Dole Cannery, second floor, across from Costco Evile. So lots of easy parking there.
There you go. Perfect. So you can go get a surgery and then buy some groceries.
Get your hot dogs.
And pizza. Anyway, okay, before we dive into the business and learn everything about how this all started, and of course, today it's kind of twofold. You're coming as a physician, but in the same time as an entrepreneur as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it in the second segment. But before we go into it, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I grew up in East Coast, grew up in New Jersey, and then did my undergrad in medical school at Georgetown in D.C., and then residency at George Washington in Washington, D.C., and then I did a cornea fellowship in Boston up at Tufts, and then moved out here to Hawaii in 1990.
Why? Because you were in D.C., then, you were in...
Visited Hawaii a few times, loved the people, loved the climate, and decided this is where I wanted to spend my life. And fortunately, the position opened up here with Kaiser, and I had joined Kaiser Permanente here for the first 9 years of my career, and loving every minute of my stay here.
What kept you here?
The same reasons. Same reasons. Beautiful people, beautiful climate, and now I have a lovely wife and lovely family, and we're settled in.
Perfect. And we have one of the family members right here. She's your vivid PR person.
Yeah, we have young Erica Olkowski here with us in the studio today as well, too.
She would like to say something, maybe later on. Okay, Dr. John, tell me about your personal time. You're running a business, you're running the practice, you're seeing a lot of patients, and you're managing the employees. And you have a family. How do you find a balance between your personal life and your professional life?
Just keep moving, staying busy. I enjoy spending time with my kids. We do a lot of things together, and with my wife, we do like to travel when we have time. And I exercise on a regular basis. I think the exercise keeps my head going, and it keeps me going. And so I usually exercise, do a CrossFit in the morning for an hour, and just keep moving and keep a balance. My wife is also a physician, so that sometimes is a challenge for our schedule. She's an emergency medicine physician, so the challenge with the children and making sure everything gets done, but it does.
Do you how do you keep track? Do you use your devices, or are you just like?
We use devices, but my wife has a paper calendar at home on the kitchen counter, and everything gets written on that paper calendar. And that's
school.
The old school. That keeps track. We all have our devices. The kids have their devices, but that paper calendar, everything's got to be on that paper calendar.
You mentioned earlier that you guys like to travel, so tell me a little bit about that.
We do like to travel. We most recently this year went to New Zealand and loved New Zealand. We'd love to go to Europe periodically, but most of the trips are trips to the mainland where we can get there and back. And as a business owner, I can't take that much time off. So 2 weeks is a luxury. It's more like a week to a week and a half at a time. So most of them are mainland trips. We do take a yearly ski trip, and we've really, that's been a good
favorite spot.
Whistler for skiing. Whistler we really enjoy, although we did just ski in New Zealand and love that as well too.
Nice. Perfect. Creating the how you call it? Good history with the kids, I guess. Creating the we have a little noise. They're trying to fix it. Okay, good. Okay. Anyway, Dr. John, last question for you before we take a break is any hobbies?
Hobbies, I like to paint. So I do still life paintings, and I paint with the kids. On our one back porch is dedicated to painting. So it's just splattered with paint all over the floors, all over the walls. There's no holes barred. You just paint and slap all over the place and get it all over yourself. And we have many, many canvases that were done by myself, by the kids. And I had back in the day when I had lots of time, spent a lot of time painting, entered Artists of Hawaii locally. But now it's they're quick paintings at the end of the day, and just really just having fun with it.
Nice. So no rules when it comes to the painting.
No rules. Just go for it.
Creating the memories.
Yes.
Perfect. Why don't we take our first break for today, and then we're gonna come back and talk about how this all started with Dr. John Olkowski. Eyesight Hawaii, eyesighthawaii.com. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
What can $5 buy? How about $10 or $20? At Foodland, it can make a big difference for a family that's hungry and in need, and you can help. Foodland's Bag of Hunger runs through April 30th, where you can make a donation of $5, $10, or $20 at checkout. The donations raised will go to the Hawaii Food Bank, where the funds will be used to purchase necessary items, such as canned meats and vegetables for those in need. So go to your local Foodland where you can make a difference while you shop. Foodland. Food, family, and friends.
Okay, do we have everything ready for the trip?
Let's go through the list.
Laptop.
Check.
Tablet.
Check.
Smartphones.
Check and double check.
iDrive.
Check. Wait, what?
iDrive. We're flying cross-country with half a dozen devices. We're going to need our data backed up.
Oh, like our tax records, home movies, wedding pictures?
Exactly. And because it securely backs up all of our devices to one location in the cloud, no matter what happens to our gadgets, we're protected.
Is it safe?
It has military-grade encryption, so only we can access our files.
iDrive sounds great. So that means it must cost a fortune.
That's the best part. For less than $5 a month, I'm protecting our desktop, laptop, tablet, and smartphones. Plus, I signed up at iDrive.com with the promo code PROTECT, so I saved us 20% on the first year.
So, does that mean we can upgrade to first class?
Nice try.
Are you thinking, how much is my business worth? Should I sell it? How can I prepare my business to minimize my tax burden? Can I avoid costly partnership disputes or transfer my business to my kids? The answer, yes. Come to the most important business workshop of the year. Meet personal and family financial needs with a team of experienced attorneys, CPA, business valuator, and certified exit planners in one room. Make your retirement more realistic and predictable. Tuesday, November 1st, starting at 7:30 a.m. until 9 a.m. at the club, 1451 Queen Emma Street. Get all your questions answered. Limited seating, admission fee is only $25, tax deductible, and breakfast is included. That's Tuesday, November 1st, starting at 7:30 a.m. Located at the club at 1451 Queen Emma Street. Go to businessexitplanninghawaii.com to register and purchase your tickets today. That's businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Remember, businessexitplanninghawaii.com.
Once upon a time, there was a business owner who worked hard and watched his company flourish. Then came the time to sell his company and retire in Palm Beach. But the path to his happily ever after was full of pitfalls and monstrous taxes. Whatever was he to do?
It's not a fairy tale, and the wrong strategy can deprive you of a storybook ending. I'm Marko Mijuskovic, and I know about business valuation. I'm also a specialist in business exit, asset protection, and estate planning. Visit my website, businessexitplanninghawaii.com, and I promise you'll find more than just a trail of breadcrumbs.
BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com is an online resource designed to help you prepare for the final stage of your business's life cycle. At BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com, you'll have no trouble at all finding workshops, podcasts, videos, articles, and more. Your happily ever after is just a click away at BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner of Wealth Strategy Partners, and you are listening Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can also find us online at hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. Best place for you to download the podcast, see the pictures of our guests, and much, much more. Like I mentioned before, since 2011, we interview a lot of business owners, try to pick their brain, and try to help you out there that's listening to our show so you can grow your business and get to the next level. BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com is what we do in our office. We try to help the business owner actually get out of the business when they're ready. And of course, for minimum taxes paid and maximum profits in their pockets. Make sure you check our website, BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com, BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com. We have the largest event of the season of the year coming up. Make sure you go online and register because seating is limited. If you have any questions, 695-2102, 695-2102. Let's go back to our guest today, Dr. John Olkowski, MD, Eyesight Hawaii, EyesightHawaii.com. Dr. John, I appreciate you sharing a little bit about yourself, about your family, and what you guys like to do for fun and how you manage your personal and professional life. It's a challenge, right?
It is.
It's always a battle, but you need to have a positive attitude in order to succeed.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about all this. You're a physician by trade.
Correct.
You started how many years?
17 years ago with Eyesight Hawaii with a private practice.
Okay.
And prior to that, I was with Kaiser Permanente for about 9 years here. I was a cornea specialist with them. And made the transition to the private sector, and many physicians are going the opposite way. Many are going from private practice into larger groups.
They try to grow. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but let me ask you this. Why physician? Why physician and why eye doctor? Like when you were making that call back in a school days, why? What triggered that?
When I was in high school, I had gone to a local group of meetings called the Future Physicians Club at a local hospital. And my older brother was in pre-med. I knew he was a doctor. It was the first group of doctors in the family. And I'd go to the local hospital, and each month a different doctor would talk about their specialty. First month I went was a gastroenterologist, and he brought us to his suite and showed us these long tubes and told them where he puts them and what he does with them. And I decided that's not what I want to do the rest of my life. And next month was an ophthalmologist, told us about the microsurgery, optics, math, and that's the stuff that I loved. I loved math, and I loved working with my hands in really small detail. And I knew at that point in high school that I wanted to go into ophthalmology. So I was fortunate enough to have that foresight or those goals set in place and was able to follow them throughout my training.
How many years of education was this?
So 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 1 year of internship, 3 years of residency, and then I did a cornea fellowship for cornea transplants.
How long was that?
And that was 1 year. So I finished school, and I'm 30 years old.
That's a lot of schooling before you even start doing something, right?
Right.
How did you keep yourself motivated not to give up?
Oh, you just keep chugging along, love what you do, and it's you enjoy it. It's fun. It's part of your life.
So when you arrived to Hawaii, I guess the position was open with Kaiser, and that's what brought you in. Why Kaiser, and why did you decide after the Kaiser to open up your own private practice?
I initially went to Kaiser because it was a salaried position. It was a safe first job. So you go in, see patients, get paid your salary, and go home. And so all of the other business aspects of a medical practice are taken care of, which is, it's a very comfortable position. And it was a good position. I enjoyed my years at Kaiser very much. And but decided I wanted something more, something different. Some of the things that private practice allow you to do is to, make more of your own decisions, bring in technologies, when you want to bring them in. So, one of the things I really pride myself in at Eyesight Hawaii is bringing in the latest and greatest and newest technologies to the state of Hawaii. And I've been doing that since we've started.
So you spent 9 years with Kaiser.
Correct.
And in these 9 years, how many years did you focus on building your business plan?
0.
And then what happened? One day you just woke up and said, this is the time. I'm ready.
It sort of grew out of when the LASIK all came to market, the laser vision correction to correct and get rid of eyeglasses. I was the first Kaiser doctor in the country to do LASIK, laser eye surgery, and founded the program here locally. And then after a year or two, decided that I wanted to, branch out and do that on my own, get my own lasers, and make something different, make something that's my own, that I could put my name on it, my stamp on it, and grow it.
Create your legacy.
And I did lose, you can see I'm not a big guy, lost 10 pounds really quickly in the first couple of months, lost a lot of sleep, read a lot of books. I read a lot of business books, read a lot of marketing books, because part of that business opportunities with LASIK is also, marketing and running a business. So did a lot of reading, a lot of research really fast to get this thing going.
Was it what you expected? Like, going from the comfortable salary position where you just clock in and clock out, go home, nothing else to think about it, to running a business and have all this stress that comes with it?
It was considerably more involved and difficult than I ever imagined. Still don't regret it at all, but it was a lot of work, and it was really scary for a number of years, and just like starting any other business. And with myself and in ophthalmology is a very expensive business. To start a laser vision correction practice, the lasers are $500,000. Mm-hmm. So you've got to sign on the dotted line and have payments to make, and which I did. So that made it even all the more scarier from a business owner's perspective.
How did you fund it? Where the initial funding came? Because you need to have your space, you need to hire some people, you need to buy certain equipment. Like, how was the funding done? And second question is, what kept you going?
Well, I guess I should certainly thank my wife. As I mentioned, my wife is a physician, and she is a Kaiser physician, so she was gainfully employed, and we were getting a check through her. So that was a tremendous help and reassurance to move forward with this. But the big funding for the big projects are through various medical lenders. They're pretty good about lending us money because they usually know that the doctors are going to come back and pay their loans off. So if you're going to buy a piece of equipment, you're pretty much going to get it funded. Some of the other business loans were through, I'll pitch American Savings Bank. They've been really good to me over the years. And so I've had a number of business loans through them, including our surgery center did as well, too. And, so they've been also very helpful to me.
Did you ever, while you were going through those initial phases, oh my God, did I make the right choice or not? Did you ever doubt yourself?
First couple of years were scary. Cause
why are you saying that?
Oh, you had a lot of bills, and I was starting a whole new practice. I was fortunate enough to be with Kaiser for those years, so I did have a reputation. People knew me in town and knew that I was a good surgeon, I was a good doctor, and I was going to take care of them. Many of them were Kaiser patients, so the Kaiser patients couldn't come out and see me based on the way the insurance is run. But I did have family, friends, and it grew, but it grows slowly like any other business, and you just have to have the confidence in yourself, confidence in the business that it's going to work. Just stick with it; it's going to work.
Did you have any support groups? You mentioned your spouse, of course, but did you have any mentors or anybody else who were guiding you through the process? Because when it comes to the physicians, they have the trade, they have their own their service provider. But on the other hand, really, they don't study any business courses in school, and everything is kind of self-taught. Pretty much, like you said, reading the books and trying to figure stuff. But did you have any help from us, any consultants or anything like that?
There were a few consultants that I would bounce things off of. I had no formal consultant to start the practice, and there are such entities out there. But I would just bounce things off of some of my colleagues that I trusted, some other associates, and just say, well, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? But a lot of it was just a good sense, doing your research. My wife has a good Midwestern sense of common sense, and so that was exquisitely helpful in how to approach things and how to keep moving forward.
And Eyesight Hawaii, how did you come up with the name?
Actually,
and the reason why I'm asking them, a lot of doctors, they put their name as the name of the business.
Funny story, and I should probably almost let Erica. Erica makes fun of me all the time that this is one of my business mistakes was the first name of the business was, Erica will tell it to you.
Erica would like to say a word or two. Erica is in charge of PR.
It's called Cornea and Refractive Surgery Consultants of the Pacific.
It's hilarious.
My accountant, after I named that, and she tried to fit that on my checks and all my documents, were like, what were you thinking? So we very shortly after that created a DBA of Eyesight Hawaii.
Okay, good. So why that long name?
That sort of describes who I was and what I was doing, but it was so long that no one could remember it.
Perfect.
And Eyesight Hawaii then evolved off of that. It seemed to just have a good ring to it. And you asked me the question of why not to put my name on it. And this will kind of go into our future exit strategy discussion is if my name's on it, it's hard to sell the business.
Or you need to change it later on, and then you need to go through the rebranding and spend extra money for doing everything, right?
Correct.
What else? Eyesight Hawaii is born pretty much. It was you in the beginning, and then you probably needed to hire some people to help you out.
So it was me and there's one technician and one front office person initially, small little office on Kapilani across from Ala Moana. And then a year after that, we moved up to 3660 on the Rise, which was great. We were there for 10, 11 years, and the staff grew and bought my lasers, had my laser there, so the staff grew to about 4 or 5. And then 5 years ago, we moved down to Dole Cannery because a group of us opened a surgery center in Dole Cannery. I was one of the founders of the surgery center. So we negotiated the lease together, and so I opened my office right next to the surgery center.
It's convenience, right?
Very, very convenient.
You can pretty much cross over, you're in your office.
Exactly.
Perfect. And you said that the stuff starting to grow, and there is a 2, and then 4, and 5, and now who knows how many. How do you deal on the beginning with your employees? Because that's a completely different ball game. You know, you need to deal with everybody's little personalities and, you know, figuring it out. And what do you do?
Again, it's a learning process, and it's people skills. And I was, fortunate along the way to have a number of great employees, and some folks did have to leave for other personal reasons or other causes. So it's sort of evolved to a point now where my staff is phenomenal. I treat them really well. They treat me really well. I didn't realize today was Boss's Day, so I did get a beautiful lei this morning, and I got a nice breakfast buffet, a nice cake for lunch, and so that's just having a great staff. Just makes my life easier, and I try to make their life easier, and we all just enjoy what we do, taking care of people.
So going backwards, and because you started a business a while ago, and you've been pretty much through all economic cycles. How did you get affected back in 2008 and 2009?
When I first started the private practice and left Kaiser, I was doing strictly LASIK, which is a cash pay business. And then after a couple of years, I missed doing my cataracts. I missed doing cornea transplants. I do currently about half of the cornea transplants in the state. And so I got back into the whole realm of what I was trained to do. And that was fortunate because when 2008 came along, cash pay procedures plummeted, and particularly LASIK, the number and volume of those decreased dramatically. And then I was able to fall back on the insurance-covered procedures, the routine cataracts and the dry eye patients. I do a lot of dry eye patients. And these things covered by insurance covered that void when the economy took a turn.
Did you see the drop in your overall business?
Oh, the LASIK volume dropped nationwide very dramatically. Very dramatically.
It became a luxury, right?
It was a luxury item, yes. One that people were not partaking of.
Perfect. Let's take a last break. Second break, not last break. Second break, and then when we come back, let's talk a little bit more about stress of being being a physician and running your own practice, because there's so many things to deal, and you can talk to us a little bit more about it because you have Obamacare nowadays, you have dealing with coding and insurances and making sure that everything is submitted promptly so you get paid. You probably can come out of anything else that you're dealing with nowadays and bring that up right after our break. So why don't we take a break? Today's guest is Dr. John Olkowski, Eyesight Hawaii. You can find him online, eyesighthawaii.com. They are located in Dole Cannery. Phone number, the one we have over here, is this the office number?
Correct.
735-1935. 735-1935. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
Salem Media of Hawaii proudly supports the community around us.
The Hawaii State Department of Health reminds you to fight the bite and don't let mosquitoes get the best of you. Do some good and fight the bite in your neighborhood by fixing leaking faucets and screen doors. Remove standing water from your patios and yards. For more tips on how to do some good and fight the bite in your neighborhood, visit FightTheBiteHawaii.com.
Metlife Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance is for living life, for your family, and leaving only great memories. With Metlife Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance, you can help make sure the ones you love won't be burdened by final expenses when you're gone. One phone call to MetLife can help cover many of these expenses, like credit card bills, medical expenses, and funeral costs. MetLife Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance. It's for the living. Talk to a MetLife representative right now at 800-675-5250. Like most insurance policies, MetLife policies contain exclusions, limitations, reductions of benefits, and terms for keeping them in force. MetLife can provide you with costs and complete details. Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance is issued by MetLife Insurance Company, USA, Charlotte, North Carolina, and in New York by Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, New York, New York. With one call, you can apply for a MetLife Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance policy right now at 800-675-5250. That's 800-675-5250.
Are you thinking, how much is my business worth? Should I sell it? How can I prepare my business to minimize my tax burden? Can I avoid costly partnership disputes or transfer my business to my kids? The answer, yes. Come to the most important business workshop of the year. Meet personal and family financial needs with a team of experienced attorneys, CPA, business valuator, and certified exit planners in one room. Make your retirement more realistic and predictable. Tuesday, November 1st, starting at 7:30 a.m. until 9 a.m. at the Club, 1451 Queen Emma Street. Get all your questions answered. Limited seating, admission fee is only $25, tax deductible, and breakfast is included. That's Tuesday, November 1st, starting at 7:30 a.m. Located at the Club at 1451 Queen Emma Street. Go to businessexitplanninghawaii.com to register and purchase your tickets today. That's businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Remember, businessexitplanninghawaii.com.
How would you like to work in the world of finance? Wealth Strategy Partners is considering smart, motivated financial associates. You will have the potential to earn competitive earnings while providing a necessary service to the community. Furthermore, when you join Wealth Strategy Partners, you will be eligible to receive a full benefits package, including insurance, a pension plan, and more. If you enjoy working with people and have an interest in making a difference in people's lives, contact Wealth Strategy Partners, 695-2102. That's 695-2102. Make the call that could change your life. 695-2102. Join Wealth Strategy Partners, 695-2102. Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, abbreviated PAS, 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004. Securities, products, or services and advisory services are offered through PAS, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, 888-600-4667. PAS is a member of FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource exclusively Wednesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. You can find us online, hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. And, of course, for business owners and business planning, we have another separate website, businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Make sure you check the businessexitplanninghawaii.com because we have the most important business workshop of the year coming up. For more details, visit businessexitplanninghawaii.com. If you have any questions, make sure you call us, 695-2102. If you're a business owner out there stuck, you don't know where to go and what to do with your business, call us, 695-2102. Let's go back to our guest today, Dr. John Olkowski, MD, Eyesight Hawaii, eyesighthawaii.com, located right in Dole Cannery, close by. I think the best thing is to check their website at eyesighthawaii.com or call them, 735-1935. Dr. John, okay, we went down the memory lane, how this all started. Now let's talk about business as is. You have a location here. You have you participate in other businesses as well, and you do have office on Maui. Let's talk about that.
The office on Maui. I've been going to Maui for about 15 years now. Started that pretty early on, and actually early on I was using other people's offices. So I was kind of leasing offices. I would lease an office out of Sears. I would lease an office out of another optometry office, and then ultimately the practice grew to a substantial enough size to warrant having a full-time office on Maui, which I've had for about 8 years now. And most recently, after a lengthy search, I was able to recruit a full-time ophthalmologist, a full-time eye surgeon for the Maui office. So Dr. Catherine Macon, is full-time on Maui. She lives on Maui, servicing the growing population, the growing elderly population on Maui. And so, we're doing our part to bring, additional medical care to the people of Hawaii, the people of Maui.
One thing comes to my mind when you say you recruit another MD that works there, and how do you retain that employee on their level? How do you attract and how do you retain?
Attract was to offer a position with a growing business and someone who wants to grow a business, has a little bit of that entrepreneurial spirit to them. offering a competitive salary, and offering, in my opinion, my practice offers a lot of the fun, exciting new technologies that you can instantaneously have at your disposal. Versus, as we talked earlier, I had to grow through those. I had to grow through those over 15 years and pay the money for those to be able to offer those to patients. But now a new physician can come in. They have access to this wonderful technology, say the lasers for laser cataract surgery, that now Dr. Macon can start right up with those without having to, the worry of coming up with the finances to grow that. And again, treating them, like you want to be treated, just like any other employee, taking care of your employees, taking care of your staff, and being there for them when they need you, and offering just words of wisdom, words of kindness.
So the Mao is taken care of, right?
Yes.
From the business standpoint, it's a separate business.
Correct.
That you set it up just for a business purposes. It's separate from Eyesight Hawaii. Business over here, you are one of the founders of the surgical center.
So Eye Surgery Center of Hawaii. I was one of the 3 doctors that had founded that center. We opened about 5 years ago and have now approximately 15 ophthalmologists, eye surgeons operating and doing eye surgery there. We cover all specialties of ophthalmology: retina, glaucoma, pediatrics. We can do children there down to 6 years of age, and we can do basically any eye surgery you can imagine. One of our other founders, Dr. Greg Kokami, had done recently the artificial implant to put in the retina on the back of the eye to make a blind person see again. And there's only 4 places, in the country that had been doing those, and we did those at our center. I'm fortunate enough to do a number of really innovative cornea transplant procedures this is university-style surgeries that we're doing there. So it's the things that you would find at Stanford, at Mayo. We're doing the leading cutting-edge surgery that you can imagine. And we're really blessed to, again, have a great staff there and be able to offer this locally.
First of all, I was fortunate enough a couple of years ago to get a tour of that place. And it's just amazing. It's amazing location, amazing facility, people, technology. Everything is like you are not in Hawaii, put it that way. Second, what was the driver when you guys were deciding to open up the center at that capacity? What was the driver? What was the motivation? What was the goal?
We all had wanted to do that, and the goal was, again, to be able to offer the best technology, the best surgery, and make it convenient for us as surgeons, convenient for patients. And outpatient surgery departments, outpatient surgery centers tend to be more than a little bit easier than going into a hospital setting. Hospital setting, although has the backup of the large hospital and the staffing, but sometimes is a bit cumbersome to, with the paperwork involved and getting in and out. So outpatient hospital settings are growing, and it's just an easy place to do surgery.
And I guess there was a demand for it.
And there's a demand for it.
Because it's very limited what's offered out there.
Correct. And, we can control, turnaround times, how fast, patients, can come in, be taken care of, and then be allowed to go back home again. And that can usually, decrease a lot of time the patients have to spend in the medical facility.
And that place is, I assume, growing. You said how many doctors is right now?
We have 15 surgeons there now, and we do continue to watch and discuss with other surgeons, and we have room for growth. And it's you can imagine that it was just the food court about 6 years ago, and now is a state-of-the-art surgery center.
Okay, so that is one business. So let's go back to your business. What is new with your business right now?
With Eyesight Hawaii, as I mentioned, we like to bring in the latest, greatest technologies, and one that we just started with is something called a raindrop near vision inlay. And this is a surgery to get rid of reading glasses in patients. And, so everybody over 45 begins to lose their reading vision. And the Raindrop, I was part of the FDA studies on this device about 4 or 5 years ago. I was one of the 6 centers in the country that had participated in these studies. And the device got FDA approved 8 months ahead of time. That's a testament to how great the technology and how good the results were. So we are now the only center in Hawaii offering that technology because we were part of the FDA study. And what the device does, it's a 10-minute in-office technique, 10-minute in-office procedure that is similar to the LASIK technique and then decreases your need for reading glasses without inhibiting the distance vision. So it's quick, fast, and it's something a lot of people are just waiting to see. And particularly the patients with great distance vision all their life and have to start wearing the readers, this can help get rid of that need for the reading glasses. So that's number one. Second new technology that we're actually going to be starting next week is something called Collagen Cross-Linking. This is a treatment for patients who have a condition called keratoconus, where their eyes are weaker than normal. And so it's a UV light treatment that is projected onto the eye, onto the cornea for 30 minutes. It makes the cornea tough again and decreases the need for cornea transplant in these patients. So this can often be 15 or 20-year-old patients who develop keratoconus and potentially need a cornea transplant at a very young age. They do this light treatment for 30 minutes. Boom, their cornea is tougher. They don't need a transplant. Game changer. It's a big game changer for this keratoconus, which is 1 in 2,000 people, so it's not a small number.
So is this a technology or this is an approach?
It is a technology. So that technology took 10 years to get through FDA approval, and it finally did. It's been in Europe for about 10 years now, and it just really could not get through the FDA for one reason or another, and it finally did. And all of us cornea surgeons across the country are breathing a sigh of relief to finally have this technology that will decrease the need for cornea transplants on these young people.
So since you're mentioning that it took so long and it was available somewhere else already, like what else is out there that we don't have it here?
There are technologies that are developing internationally, particularly on the European market. Some implant lens technologies that are, on the horizon and, may not come to the U.S. because of some of the, arduous rules and regulations of getting things through an FDA approval. And but it is getting better. They're realizing that in some cases stagnates our growth in the technology realm, and so a lot of that's changing. A lot of that's getting better.
Okay, anything else? Because I know that you are involved with the medical startup.
Correct. I'm also involved with a device. I have a robust dry eye patient population. And I am working on a device to help dry eye patients. It's a medical startup that I've been working on for about 2 years now. My kids, Kirk and Erica, have been involved with this project from the beginning. And it all started, we would start meeting at a Starbucks with a local engineer and kind of going through the prototypes and drawings on this device. And it's now evolved to a point where we've got 4 engineers in Seattle. I've got a CEO in Southern California. I just met with a patent attorney in Boston, and so it continues to grow and evolve. And we're in the process of raising funds. So if any of your listeners are interested in investing or discussing a startup technology that we think is going to be a huge winner and just help a lot of people, help a lot of dry eye patients, huge market.
Can you share what it is?
It's a device to help improve the oil on the tear film. So our tears are made of a big, thick water layer and then an oil layer on the surface. So this will facilitate increasing and improving the oil layer on the tear film so that the tears stay on your eyes longer. And you'll find that you won't need so many artificial tears. You won't need a lot of other adjunct therapies if you can improve this oil on the tear film surface.
Interesting. So on top of this, you're running the practice.
On the top of that, I'm running a practice.
So a question from earlier or on the beginning of our show was like, how do you balance it? How do you find time for everything again?
You just keep moving along and making lists and checking off the list and make sure everything gets done. I've got my yellow pad in my backpack and my iPhone here and just keep checking them off and getting things done.
So now talking about the delegating, because you grow to the certain level when it comes to your staff, so you probably delegate way more than you used to delegate.
Correct.
And how do you give up your control? Because a lot of time entrepreneurs, type A personalities, it's really hard to give up the control. What do you do?
It depends on how much control you're giving up. You're giving up control but still maintaining oversight. So you're having people do a project but reporting to you on the project, and just you can make an opinion or a judgment on the project. So it's giving up some control but still maintaining oversight over the project.
So does that mean that you are giving up control and you are delegating as much as you can?
I am giving up control to a degree and delegating as much as I can to a degree.
Okay, good. We got it. That's fine. Looking back, how different is today versus when you started?
Today, I'm much more comfortable in the role of a business owner, and been through it for a while now, and understand what needs to be done. Less fearful of signing a loan for a $500,000 piece of equipment, because I know it'll work out well, and I do my research on the equipment to make sure that it will make a return on investment and will help people. Is the most important thing, obviously.
Perfect. Why don't we take our last break? Once we come back from the break, we're going to cover our three most important questions for today. Today's guest is Dr. John Olkowski, MD, Eyesight Hawaii, 735-1935, 735-1935. Also, you can find him online, eyesighthawaii.com. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
For America's wounded warriors, sometimes coming home can be a battle in itself. Every one of them needs our support to meet the challenges they face every day. The USO provides Americans a way to offer that support to our wounded warriors and their families. Join us. Visit USO.org to learn how you can make a difference in their lives. The USO.
Are you thinking, how much is my business worth? Should I sell it? How can I prepare my business to minimize my tax burden? Can I avoid costly partnership disputes or transfer my business to my kids? The answer, yes. Come to the most important business workshop of the year. Meet personal and family financial needs with a team of experienced attorneys, CPA, business valuator, and certified exit planners in one room. Make your retirement more realistic and predictable. Tuesday, November 1st, starting at 7:30 a.m. until 9 a.m. at the Club, 1451 Queen Emma Street. Get all your questions answered. Limited seating, admission fee is only $25, tax deductible, and breakfast is included. That's Tuesday, November 1st, starting at 7:30 a.m. Located at the Club at 1451 Queen Emma Street. Go to businessexitplanninghawaii.com to register and purchase your tickets today. That's businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Remember, businessexitplanninghawaii.com.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the outer islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner of Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can also find us online, hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. So if you missed the show by any chance, make sure you go online and look for the podcast. Podcast is usually uploaded right after the show on Wednesday afternoon. Hawaii Money Resource is also a good place for you to see the previous guests of our show and also download the previous podcasts. You can also inquire about what we do in the office at 695-2102, 695-2102. For the business owners, they're looking to exit their business in style, meaning with the minimum taxes paid, maximum profit in pockets. We have the most important business workshop of the year coming up. Make sure you go to businessexitplanninghawaii.com and register. Okay, let's go back to our guest today. Today's guest is Dr. John Olkowski, MD. Eyesight Hawaii, 735-1935 or eyesighthawaii.com. Dr. John, I know that we didn't cover this in a previous segment, so before I pose those questions, how do you deal with overall bureaucracy when it comes to the doctors and physicians? And you mentioned earlier there is a lot of doctors that are actually leaving the private practice and going and becoming a part of the larger groups. What is your take on?
Yeah, there is a great group of people wanting to develop a program, safety in numbers. So the big docs working for a larger corporation, and allowing the corporation to manage all the business aspects of it. And so you're going in, seeing patients, and just concerned about seeing patients, and then at the end of the day, that's it. Your work is done. And I think we will probably continue to see that sort of shift, a trend in medicine. I'm exquisitely happy with where my practice is, as a quasi group practice at this time, and enjoy the freedom, if you will, to bring new technologies to the marketplace and run the business as I see fit.
And it's probably different as you move from the specialty to specialty. Some specialties are affected more than another, and those are the ones that actually physicians are going towards the larger groups and hospitals.
Correct. So internal medicine docs are probably heading more out of private practice and more into groups and into the hospital setting. Versus more of the subspecialists maybe still continuing into practice. However, the specialties like mine has a very large overhead and a lot of heavy and expensive equipment that again sometimes becomes challenging, but nonetheless not insurmountable.
Perfect. I appreciate your take on this topic. Let's go and ask those 3 questions for our end of the show. We have like 4 minutes left. First question is, what is the growth? Where is Eyesight Hawaii heading to?
We'll continue to grow. As I said, we opened the growing the Maui practice, growing the Maui office. I foresee, at some point, I do have an optometrist working with me here currently. Perhaps another doctor, ophthalmologist, joining my practice here. And again, looking for the ultimate, exit strategy at some point. My children are still fairly young, and hopefully I intend to keep the practice growing until they're of age. Whether they will join and become part of the practice, that remains to be seen.
I don't know. Erica says over there she would like to be an attorney.
I would prefer to be a lawyer than a doctor.
Oh, okay. Maybe you change your mind sometimes down the road. Okay, second question. So. Second question is, what is your exit strategy? Because you're involved with so many different things. What will be your ultimate?
The exit strategies, potentially are several. I mean, the Maui practice, as I mentioned, that we've developed a separate business entity for there, and perhaps having that sold off or acquired at some point. Potentially bringing on another doctor to the practice here and seeing if they're interested in acquiring or taking over the practice. Surgery center, shares will be sold. As part of a surgery center, you do need to be doing surgery there. So at some point, as surgeries do become more difficult for me, but that's 20 years down the road, shares of the surgery center would have to be sold back to the entity.
So there is a buy and sell agreement in place.
Correct.
Perfect. Last question for maybe young physician getting into the market. What will be your word of wisdom? You have like a 40 seconds.
Make sure you do your research. I mean, make sure you understand what medicine is about. Do some volunteer work. I had mentioned earlier that I went to a Future Physician Symposium. I have that locally here now once a year. We have 70 to 80 high school students. We invite all the high school students across the state. I invite about 7 to 8 doctors come to talk about what they do. And med students talk about what they do.
When is that happening usually?
It's usually in September every year. We just
okay.
passed, and we offer a scholarship for an essay that the students write, $500 scholarship. And we've been doing that for 12 years now. We have a lot of those people are now coming back and they're doctors, and they come back and thank me for the exposure that they got 12 years ago.
How can people learn, or students learn more about that?
They can call my office, and we can give them information and keep them on a list, so they'll be definitely notified for next year. We do notify all of the guidance counselors statewide about the upcoming event ahead of time, and let the school know.
Dr. John Olkowski, MD, Eyesight Hawaii, thank you so much for being guest at Hawaii Money Resource.
Marko, thank you very much.
Perfect. That was another great show. Dr. John Olkowski, Eyesight Hawaii, eyesighthawaii.com, 735-1935. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. Another great show. Do not change the channel, and we'll be right back.
The Living Balance Sheet and the Living Balance Sheet logo are registered service marks of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. The graphics and text used herein are the exclusive property of Guardian and protected under U.S. and international copyright laws. Copyright 2005 to 2011. The Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations. Marko Mijuskovic is a registered representative and financial advisor for Park Avenue Securities, LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products, services, and advisory services are offered through Park Avenue Securities, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. Financial representative, the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. Park Avenue Securities is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Wealth Strategy Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Park Avenue Securities or the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Park Avenue Securities is a member FINRA SIPC.